Hi everyone, this is Kona, and I'm going to show you how to use the assignment page in Canvas. So first of all, the link to get to your assignment page is over here on the left-hand navigation. For me right now, it's right here in the third one. That's not to say for you it might be down at the bottom. Uh, it just kind of depends, but if you look around, you'll find your assignment link over on this left-hand navigation. So go ahead and click on it. And this is your beginning of your assignment page. Now, your assignment page is where you set up basically your gradebook in Canvas. Because this actually determines how grades are calculated for your course, it's really, really important that you make sure this matches exactly what you have on your syllabus. So the default is for it to be a points-based gradebook, which means we're not weighting things, there's no percentages. I mean, you can get an overall, like you're getting a 95%, like that type of thing, but it's not weighting the grades based on a percent. So it's just a flat, flat points-based gradebook. If you need it to be a weighted gradebook, what you're going to want to do is come over here and this little gear icon on the upper right hand side, it's your assignment settings. If you click on it, all you need to do is then check the box, weight final grade based on assignment groups, and it will now do what you need it to do. So it will now actually allow you to enter in percentages for your different groups, your assignment groups. But for now, we're not going to do that. We're just going to go ahead and cancel. So first of all, then look at your syllabus and see how do you have your assignments broken apart. So a lot of people may have their assignments broken apart by, let's say, instead of assignments, let's call these homework. And really use whatever you call it in your class. Use the same thing in Canvas. That way it's just not confusing to you or your students. So the very first one, and this is the default, it says assignments. You can change that to whatever you want by coming over to this little gear icon for that particular group. Click the edit button, and we're just going to call this homework. And click the save button. Alright, so there's your first group. Then to create additional groups, you just click this add group button. And so you can call this, let's call it quizzes, save, and then let's call the next one exams or tests. Once again, use whatever language you use on your syllabus or in class. Make sure that matches, because that way it will be less confusing for you and less confusing for the students. So the next thing is then actually adding assignments in each one of these groups. So to add an assignment, the easiest way, while you can add an assignment here, it's easier to actually, if you're going to add homework, just click the little plus button right here, and it actually adds an assignment right to that homework one. So for type, it's really important that, first of all, the default type is an assignment. So an assignment is just a generic, it could be a Dropbox where you have students upload papers, any type of Word file, PowerPoint, that type of thing. But what's really important is that you pick the right type, so to speak, of category here for what the students will be turning in. Now, if the students are not turning in anything in Canvas, this is really important. If the students are not turning in anything in Canvas, always use the assignment as the type when you're adding things to Canvas. So always use that assignment as the type. Even if it's a quiz, still add it as an assignment, but that's only if students are not turning it in to Canvas. If students are turning it into Canvas, then you would pick the assignment as the assignment type for anything that you want the students to submit as a file. So any kind of Word document, some write-up, things you don't want other students to see, just that student, PowerPoints, those types of things. You could choose discussion if you want the students to actually have a discussion, so use a discussion forum. That's when you would pick discussion. Then you've got quiz. The quiz is only to be used if you're actually going to have the students take the quiz in Canvas. Otherwise, use the assignment link. External tools, most people don't use them, but they are available and not graded. So if it's something that's not necessarily graded, but you want it to show up as it's an assignment that they have to do, but maybe they don't get a grade for it, it's right there. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and choose assignment, and then I'm going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it homework number 1. Set your due date. This is another good thing to have your syllabus out, so that way you can see what different when things are due on your syllabus, and it's going to be worth 20 points, and click save. So there you go. You would then just pick the next one and homework number 2. And calendar, the 12th, done. And let's make sure this one was worth 15 points. Okay, so those are just examples of how to add homework. It's the same thing for quizzes. You would just come down though to this plus button by the quizzes and click it. Now for this one, once again, even though it's quizzes, if you're doing it in class, make sure you pick the assignment as the type instead of the quiz. You can pick the quiz though if the students are going to be doing it on Canvas. So for me, I am going to have the students do this quiz in Canvas, so I'll pick quiz, just call this quiz 1, and make my due date on, let's say, the 6th, and 20 points. So that's just an example of how you can add things to your assignments and add groups to Canvas to set up your gradebook. The other really important thing here is that you can also add grading rules. So basically what that means is if you come back, let's go to homework and click on that gear icon, you now have, when you click this edit button, you can have drop the lowest number. So number of scores to ignore for each student. You could say maybe you want to drop the lowest score. So this will now drop the lowest homework score in the overall grade calculation. Also, maybe there's 1 or 2 assignments that you want to make sure get added into the student's actual grade, and then there's another group maybe that you want to have dropped. You can now add those assignments right here. So you wouldn't drop these, but out of the rest of them, you would drop the lowest one. But for now, I'll just go ahead and do that. It's also nice that it now shows you that there is a rule that drop the lowest score for this group. Another really important feature is that right now you can see these are all kind of gray, and you see this little cloud that when I hover over it, it says publish. What this means is that even if there's a due date of June 5th, the students will not even be able to see that this homework exists unless you click this green publish. Well, it turns green. So if you click the gray and it turns to green, it's now published, and it means students will be able to see it if you add it into the modules or put it somewhere for the students to access. So it's really important that you have to make sure that you publish anything you want students to be able to see. If you don't publish it, students will not be able to see it. It doesn't matter if the due date is set and they should have access to it based on your due dates. If you don't publish it, students will not see it. So really, really important to make sure you publish it. So here's just a quick overview. Also, once again, if you did want to turn this into a percentage-based gradebook, all you would need to do is come up to this very top gear icon. This is the overall assignment settings. Click on that. You would click weight final grade, and then you can change. So maybe I want homework to be worth 15, and this maybe to worth, let's make it worth 30. And then you can see, oh, I've got 45 left, so I'm going to make exams worth 55. And so there you go. Now when you click save, you'll see the 15% of total, 30% of total, and 55% of total. If you ever want to change that, you can now always come to the little gear icon and click edit, and you can change it here, or you can always come back up here and change it there. If you ever wanted to switch it back, you would just uncheck the button and click save, and then it goes back. So there's your overview. I hope this helps, and please let us know if you have any questions.